the DXT night sights. Let's check them out. A few months ago, Excess Sights got in touch with me and asked if I would do a 1,000-round torture test on their DXT big dot tritium sights. You know, I had some experience with the big dot sights, but I knew that the 1,000-round torture test would let me know if these sights were really suitable for my concealed carry piece. Because of that, I was really impressed with the big dot sights. Having a lot of rounds downrange and really being able to see this sight so quickly. So when Excess Sights introduced their DXTs for the Canik TP9 pistols, the FS model, especially the Elite and the DA, I really wanted to try them out on these pistols. So we're going to go through the installation process of the Canik TP9SF Elite and also the TP9SF DA. And the DXT big dot sights are the sights that are still on this Glock 26. We have the TP9 DA. We're going to put the standard sights on this one. Then we have the TP9SF Elite. And we're going to put the DXT big dot sights on this one. Since both of these sight installations are the same, we're only going to show the TP9SF Elite. And here's what comes in the package. You get your metal sights, front sight with the big dot, rear sight with a post. These are tritium. You get a small little hex key, and you get some thread locker, also a small sticker, and we're going to get started. First thing we're going to do is make sure the gun isn't loaded, no magazine, and the chamber is empty. Next, we're going to bring the slide back just a little bit, pull down on your takedown tabs, and we're just going to remove the slide, recoil spring, guide rod, and the barrel. Now all we'll need is the slide to install the sights. Now we've placed the slide into a vise with some non-marring jaws to protect your slide. Alright. Man, that sucker was in there pretty hard. So, you know, you're going to have to put a little strength behind it, at least for this one. Now, take your front sight and we're going to test it before we clean it. It needs to kind of really fit into the dovetail. And you want to try both sides. Now, you want to take a flat file, and at the bottom of your sight, what we're going to do is just take a little bit of material off. And then we're going to turn it. We're going to go the other direction. You're going to want to run that over your file a number of times just to see if you can get the fit. You want to do it very sparingly. Now, one issue that you're going to have if you do this too much is the sight is going to interfere with the slide. So you only want to do this a few times, just double checking. But we want it to go in at least about a third of the way. And we're not getting that. Now we're going to take a dovetail file and we're just going to get the front edge. And this is the front that will face your muzzle. Now we want the sight to go in about halfway under finger pressure, and we're there. I'm going to take a little denatured alcohol or any kind of degreaser and just clean this up and then let it dry. Now let's place our front sight in under finger pressure about halfway. Non-marring punch. I'm going to tap it in. I'm going to check alignment. And we are spot on. Using the thread locker provided, We want to just get into, let this kind of settle in. Try not to get it on the white or the big dot. If you do, it's okay, just wipe it off. We're going to let this set for a couple of minutes, and then when we finish, we're going to clean off the excess. Now we'll go ahead and remove the excess from the excess sights. You want to just get rid of this. It's seeped down into the sight. It's just going to help it hold even better. And the front sight is installed. Now this model has the Warren tactical sights, some of the later models do, and these are excellent, but if you want night sights, obviously we got to take this one off. When I was installing the front sight, I was using these green pads. Unfortunately with the back sight, you're going to get a little bit too much movement. It's in there pretty tight. So we're going to remove this screw, then you put it in white paper like I've got right here. This is actually cardstock, and this protects the slide, but yet it gives it a very rigid platform. Now, I didn't end up taking out the sight on the Elite because I was having a lot of trouble. But that's because the plastic jaws were giving. They're rubber and they were giving in each side. So I took it down to my good friend Robbie Wheaton, and he put it in a vise and showed me this trick of using the white paper. And he popped this sight right out. When I used this paper for the DA, it popped right out as well. Now when you're removing the sight, you'll want to come in from the left side. That's the easiest way to bring it out. We're going to take a hex wrench and we're just going to pull this, unscrew this. Beautiful. We're going to clean it up with some denatured alcohol. You want to make sure that the rear sight slides in. If it's kind of tough going in, you can shave a little bit off the bottom, but this one goes in really easily. Now we're going to take our little wrench that's provided, and you just want to tighten down those set screws. And there's two of them. Once you kind of line it up to where you want it, and then with the supplied Vibratite, we're going to put it along the edge. Let that seep down into the sight. This will give it a good hold. And then we're going to let that sit for a few minutes, and then we're going to clean off the excess. Now we're going to reassemble the pistol. Drop in your barrel, take your guide rod and spring. Now one of the things about this pistol is you don't come from the front like we do with a lot of different pistols. The way it sets is you bring it down in front of your slide rails like this, and then just bring it back. And now you're locked in. Now here you can contrast it with the standard sights that come on the Canik. Now these are Warren tactical sights, and then of course you have your fiber optic rod at the front, which shows up really well. But nighttime shooting, not so much. So I really like for a self-defense pistol to have night sights on it. And yet you still have that really bright white outline for the front sight, so you're not really losing anything. Now with the sights you'll see a post at the back, and you just place the big dot and you just dot the eye, is what they say. And then there's your sight up front. That white outline surrounds the post. So it makes great daylight sights, yet you still have the tritium. So to me, it's like really easy to see. Now on that small front little tritium post, that's where you set your sight. And then if you want to get back beyond 15 yards, you just aim at the top of the white dot. So 15 yards and in, you just aim right at the center of the dot. 15 yards out, you aim at the top of the dot. And I want to thank Freedom Munitions for supplying the ammo. We're using some American steel. It's steel cased, copper jacketed. We're also using just their new manufacturer and Pro Match for the accuracy. Go to freedommunitions.com, get a 5% discount using SUIT00. Now here we have the standard dot, and what we're going to do is just dot the eye. and it works out well. And here we are with the big dot. You can see it's a much larger front sight. We're going to dot that out. And it's right on target. You have that single post in the back, and right up front you have that large dot, and you just dot that eye, and it really, you center the small little tritium bead that's in the middle on target. One thing about these sights to me is that that big dot is so easy to see, and guys, you know that it's important to front sight. Get a hold of that front sight. What I love is with that post, it's not difficult at all to line them up. Instead of, you know, especially in the dark, if you've got 3 dots, you can get those off a little bit. And so I love the big dot. Just dotting that eye, putting it right there at the top of that post, and you're able to get right on target. And as you've seen, I mean, the accuracy is really good with these handguns, with these sights. The big dots to me are a little better for your concealed carry piece because it's really for up close and personal, but yet, you know, you can get out there, but you can really find that dot quickly. With the standard sights, I like those a little better for my larger pistols. And that's one of the reasons why I put it on this full-size DA. And then here in the dark, you can pick these sights up. You can line them up. You don't have to worry about 3 different points. And of course, with the camera, you're only going to get so much, but you can see how well they're showing up when I focus in, whether it's the dot at the front or right here at the back. And I'll tell you what, guys, for a self-defense pistol, it's really good to have night sights. Now you can go to XSsights.com to get more information, not only about the Canik sights, but all the different sights that they offer. The big dot and the standard Tritium sights run $137 for the set. You can get a 10% discount using SUITS00, all caps, when you check out, and that always helps. And I want to thank XS Sights for sending the big dot and the standard sights for this test and evaluation and their support. Guys, I'll tell you, once you start using the big dot sight, it's just out there, and then you've got that white circle that outlines around it. It's so easy to see. Great for daylight, great for nighttime shooting. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. You mean I didn't do any of that? Now we're going to place the rear sight. Now we're going to place the rear sight in. Okay. And then with the supplied Vibrotite, and then with the, because to me these are just, now we've had both. Now we've had